Year 3 win-loss records, review and reflect. Start at the top and work our way down. As the expression goes, Big Titan. Big Titan. 7-0 in singles. Supreme, undefeated run in one-on-one. Unprecedented success in that division. Won Canada's heavyweight championship in December of year 2, which would have been episode 24. Spent much of year 3 successfully defending. Team Terrible. 12-2. To the surprise of none. Typical dominance we see year after year. Vampiro. Subject of some controversy behind the scenes. 7-3. Featuring a successful collaboration with Team Terrible in the 6-tag. So, worth keeping, but will he stick with us throughout year 4? The primary departure threat in the promotion. Wolf, Omega, Big Mike, Team Canada Blue, 8-2 in 6-tag. Might declare the 6-tag team of the year, except that they were 0-2 versus Team Weird, who were 5-1. Rhett, the Hitman Hart, 5-2 in tag team, as he captained his way to dominance over the DFW tag. He was a tag specialist in his WWF days. I grew up with it. The Canadian Sensation, 6-2 in tag team. Even better than tag champion partner Brett. Successful enough to not even delve into singles action all year. You might recall from year 1, the Sensation actually was briefly holding Canada's heavyweight championship. The Baron Charles, People's Champion, millions and millions, 4-2 in singles action, Dramatic Fight Wrestling's heavyweight champion. The Trick Prince, Jin Kiritani the Emperor, 3-9 overall on year 3, culminating with losing to his most hated former subject, Blue Hair. Though he is not samurai per se, in that he's Chinese, not Japanese, the shame on the year is great. So at the very least, the Emperor, like Deathblow can before him, needs time off to reevaluate where he's at confidence-wise. The irredeemable Shota. Shota is 8-2. Very strong overall on year 3 in singles and tag. Your unified junior champion. Both belts. Good times for the irredeemable. Not so good times for Mexico Miguel. 0-9. 0-9 for year 3. Completely miserable overall record. Winless. Lost everything in all 3 formats. So, what can he do besides aspire to bring back those brighter days? Like when he battled evenly with Shota over the junior championship. Since then, he's basically become the junior jobber. Can he turn it around in year 4? And that puts a wrap on year 3. Let's go to year 4, shall we? Tag team opener. Get the energy going straight away with Superhero, the Blue Blazer. Starting for the $90,000 team, along with fellow high signing bonus partner Wiseman Ted Axel, the $50,000 man. So this blue Can-Am connection will face former tag team champions, Team Terrible, in what could be a tag team championship match most of the time. Team Terrible, of course, perennial frequent champions. And $90,000 team, pretty exciting by my estimation. So, sticking somewhat with blue, out is the Baron Charles. Poor condition, right of the profile there. So, the People's Champion paid the price for entering Vampiro's hardcore world on Christmas, but credit the Baron for manning up. So no DFW heavyweight title defense, but we can run the tag. As the 2 members of Sharpshooter Syndicate, longtime holders of this title now, will face Team Best Friend. Remember that WWE angle. KO, Kevin Owens, Lionheart, Chris Jericho. Jericho job 50% finished after Lionheart dismantled the Hitman, Bret Hart, to open the Christmas bloodbath in the previous event. Second half of the plan, as was mentioned, previous episode, to team with best friend Kevin Owens to seize Hart's DFW tag title. And if they succeed, the best friends will put an end to DF dominance in tag by Bret, which features a 4 defense reign he's got going. And how furious is Bret? After demolishing Kevin Owens in November, which would have been episode 35, but failing to do likewise against Lionheart in December, the Hitman's march to challenging Big Titan for Canada's Heavyweight Championship has been at least called into question, perhaps even derailed outright. Which moves us on to match 3. With that Bret Hart setback, has the door opened for Blue Hair to seize the #1 contendership for Canada's Heavyweight Championship. In light of recent results, Blue Hair overcoming both active members of Jin Dynasty in consecutive events. Although Blue Hair's victory over Strongheart came in tag action, 1 versus 1 is not the same thing. So between that and Strongheart angry over his hospitalization at the hands of Blue Hair, grudge rematch with #1 contendership implications. Blue Hair facing someone who has battled Big Titan for Canada's Heavyweight Championship. Strongheart twice took the champ to the limit. And should Strongheart win this match, strong case to challenge the Titan a 3rd time. Mind you, neither of these guys are Canadian, and the Baron Charles may need a challenger in February. So the winner here does not necessarily get Big Titan and might contend for the DFW Heavyweight Championship instead. And speaking of Big Titan, for all this talk of him, we should at least have him on the screen. He is the man, the King of Canada. After defending his title, the biggest in the promotion, under extreme conditions at the Christmas bloodbath, I'd say he deserves time off, and he will watch this match with great interest, for it might determine his next opponent for his Canadian Heavyweight Championship. Match 4. Team Satan. Religious rivalry resoundingly ruled over by Team Satan as they swept the 2 matches from previous episode, the Christmas bloodbath. So not ideal for Canadian fans, perhaps, as their local heroes ultimately lose the rivalry, but it does free them to pursue championship matches. Christian is already a junior tag champion, can get back to defending that. Christian could also tag with Edge. Old buddies. And they could pursue the heavyweight tag championship. Would be a fun thing to do for those friends. Edge could even tag with fellow Canada Red stable member, Big Mike. So, several possibilities there to unfold over the course of year 4. And Team Satan can make a strong case for being #1 contenders for the 6-tag title, being so successful at the Christmas Bloodbath as a stable. But since the Midnight Night Yeah is out in poor condition, Team Satan, the original 2, will settle for Canada's Tag Team Championship. As the General and the Foot Soldier will challenge for the newly acquired, for the first time in what seems like ages, Wolf and Kenny, the original Team Canada Blue, are finally, what was it, after month 3, we're into month 37, they're finally Canada's Tag Team Champions again. But they're not wearing their blue, they're not wearing their original Team Canada Blue. These were the colors that they had on when they finally won the titles again. Fittingly in that bloody, dark environment of landmine death matches. So they're going to ride these uniforms, the red-black, for as long as they're Canada's Tag Team Champions. Which might be a while because, as you notice, Omega, over his shoulder there, 2 belts. These boys are dual champions. So they might, who knows, maybe they'll be heavy tag for champs for a while. Because presumably they'll be splitting duties with the 6-tag. As I said, Team Satan is going to be coming after them for the 6-tag titles. So we'll see. We'll just have to see, right? It's all good times right now for Wolf Omega original Team Canada Blue. 2 men, title in each hand. Just because I haven't done it in a while. For fun. Gotta have some fun along the way. 2 belts for these 2. Very cool. Great. Good for you guys. Match 5. I did mention this, did I not? One of Christian's options. So with all 4 juniors healthy and finished with any rivalries, the Junior Tag Team Championship shall be defended as Team Black and Gold, I guess, unofficially called these guys. Enemies turn friends. Christian and the Irredeemable will challenge the other 2 juniors. Will be challenged by the other 2 juniors for their titles. Mexico Miguel, Type B, Big Man Complex. Which brings us to the main event. 6th and final match will feature D-Trust versus D-Trust. Talked about that enough times in the past. Once your trust is as low as letter grade D, you are a risk to outright depart the promotion. So hopefully a main event appearance will make these guys happy, and someone might climb to C-Trust. So who are these guys? Representing Team Canada Black, Both these guys have D Trust. Already much talked about Vampiro and Iron Mike Sharp. I think he's fittingly a D Trust because he's an old man to start with, and maybe he just figures I really need the luxury of walking out of here anytime. So these two guys will face Team Canada Red, which I also hinted at earlier. That's a possibility. Edge has got D Trust, so 3 of these 4 guys have Ds. So maybe someone will be pleased with being in the main event, hopefully. So the Elgin Edge combo. Double E. Team Canada Red. First time ever for these two. And I don't know, have we ever called anyone Team Canada Red before? We've had Team Canada, which included Red, but it's the first time we're using this official name, so yeah, maybe good things ahead for these two. So just sort of a fun sort of side rivalry here. Rivalry within the match. Vampiro will start because, as we said, Iron Mike Sharp is an old man who needs his rest. In fact, I believe we pulled Mr. Sharp out of a retirement home so he can endanger his health for us. Vampiro starts, and Big Mike more than happy to begin in the ring against his rival, Vampiro. If you remember, Vampiro was the man who embarrassed Big Mike on Canada Day, episode 31. Mike's own finishing move used on him by Vampiro, costing Mike's team the 6 tag titles. So Big Mike is keen to get his hands on the dead man. And he will do so at a venue of 15,000. So we have been running the 30,000 for a while. Gone back to 15,000. Just because it enables max ticket price. As you see there, ticket price in the lower right, $100 a head. So this configuration will give us a lower attendance, but a higher profit. So the answer to many questions in life is money. So speaking of 15,000, let's go to merchandise from here. So I'm pretty happy with all this. We'll confirm. Management. Produce merchandise. Yeah, speaking of 15,000, how about we produce 15,000 merchandise items to start year 4 off big. So that will consist of 10,000 towels, as we are sold out, still have the 10% discount. $10,000. So we're not at the big venue right now, but these sell pretty well, and just means I don't have to buy them again as soon. And 5,000 photo collections. Doesn't sell quite as well as towels, so smaller commitment on that. 5,000. Also discounted. So yeah, 15,000 items made there. That way, if each of the roughly 15,000 attendees at the show buys one item, we'd sell out of all this stuff. That's overly optimistic, but we're going with it. Goods. Might be the last time we ever mention goods. With the partnership concluded with Jumbo Mart, after that 2-year fruitful alliance with those supermarket folks, we're no longer producing goods. So, because we don't have the discount anymore, 10% discount gone with the contract. So we'll allow this final few hundred items to sell off and then be done with it. And going forward shall be just towels and photo collections, major and minor sellers respectively. So should be easy enough to keep track of. So normally we get to, okay, yeah, something that affects attendance. Let's look at it. I can't wait to look at it. After that, go back to promotion data. Notice anything awesome? If you look at the top of the promotion data, where it says popularity, we have become S, popularity in the America region. S is for super, perhaps. So that should improve our attendances, improve, I don't know if it improves merchandise sales, but pretty sure it improves attendance at the very least. So we've done it. We reached apex popularity in the region that we run our shows. So that should only mean good things going forward. We could expand into these other places. Japan, Latin America, Europe, but then you basically go back to the beginning and work in gymnasiums and stuff. So you're not popular there. I mean, it might be fun to build that up, but for now I'm just content to benefit from S popularity. Let's just rake in attendances and profits now that we've come all this way. Okay, before we get to putting on a show in front of attendance, one more thing. View title belts. That tradition. Keep that going. What about it? So we got two viewings to make here. View title belts. I guess we'll do it in the order that they were mentioned. Canada's Heavyweight Championship. So I mentioned Big Titan. He spent year 3 much of the time defending this championship. 7 wins. 7 title defenses. By far the greatest reign this title has seen. The Baron Charles before him, honorable mention, had 2 wins, which had equaled Big Titan's previous record. And look at all the small reigns. Even 2 is not exactly dominant. We waited a long time to have someone truly make this championship their own and to stabilize where this title is at and where the home is. So we also mentioned from top to bottom. The Big Titan's at the very top of this list. We got to cycle through the top and come around to the bottom where the DFW is, because they're the lowest prestige organization because they're defunct. But yeah. Mention Bret Hart's control of this tag team championship. The DFW tag, 4 title defenses. I mean, there's nothing else on this page with multiple defenses. Everyone's been either one and done or just had 1 defense and then coughed it back up. You go to the very top, Matt Gibson, the ace, had 2 title defenses, and then it took a long time before anyone had more than 1. Bret Hart and the Canadian sensation. But they're faced with perhaps their stiffest test to date. As team best friend, former heavyweight champions of the world, Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho, the Lionheart are coming after these belts. Can hardly wait. Let's get to it. Year 4 begins January. Match 1. Tag team opener. So we'll go back to ring entrances. If you remember from previous episode, everyone had to start in the ring because awkward to climb over the landmines and the barbed wire surrounding the ring. I guess we probably teleported them into the ring, or they came up through the floor. Who knows where they came from. For now, back, moving down the aisle. The $50,000 man, first in the ring. The superhero, Blue Blazer from Canada. Against the faces of doom, Team Terrible has spelled defeat, demoralization for many. Wrestling Bear, Jason the Terrible. Freshly relieved of all their title gold, you can bet they're aiming to reclaim. The two masked men get this started. We're not sure who these people are exactly. Let's just hope all the legal paperwork and all that stuff is in order. Body slam. Body slam. Body slams in stereo into a face lock now. Flying. Round kick. Snap. Suplex. Super. Snap suplex. And then reversal. On the vertical. So, Jason stubbornly wanted to test the super strength, the superhero strength of the Blue Blazer again. He paid for it both times. And the Blue Blazer looking very good handling both members of Team Terrible. Man, I guess they're getting Team Terrible at the best possible time. It's been dark times lately for the Terrible team. Losing both their championships in consecutive events. Reversal on the vertical suplex out of the ring. Wise Man goes flopping headfirst onto the floor, but he's back. It is still early after all. Bear Mare. Snap Mare takedown. While they're down there, the Wise Man cinches in an armbar submission attempt. Ankle pick attempted, ultimately the takedown secured, but again, the wily Wise Man. Well, give him credit. He's got guts. He could have easily tagged out to the Blue Blazer there. Eats the Chicago Bears football charge for his trouble. We've got the chicken wing down on the reverse mount position. Huh. Wrestling Bear gets tagged out, double clothesline. Maybe now they can finally start putting things together as a team. Again with that face lock. Both members of Can-Am Blue have eaten it so far. They'll work together here on the assisted powerbomb. Back-breaking submission attempted. It's the return of the Bear, double clothesline again. That 2-on-1 bullying tactic is definitely a route for the former champions to get back in this match. or to really fully get into the match for the first time. Shoot, takedown there by the bear into the neck crank. I want to say early, but we've seen the bear finish some people pretty quick. 6 minutes, the 6-minute range is not out of the question when it comes to Terrible Ted, who's getting tossed around right now, but of course it is a superhero. Super strength being applied by the Blue Blazer. This might make for an interesting singles match, because if anyone has the strength to match Terrible Ted, maybe it's bona fide, genuine superhero. So we're into the guillotine choke there. Blazer's not the legal man, probably a good thing because we are at 8 minutes now. You know the bear is looking for a finish. The guillotine from the floor position. Or the mat position, I guess. Floor would be outside, would it not? I mean, the mat is a type of floor, but pay to be clear with your terminology. Mat interior. Teddy Twister on the arm twist. Once again, we see that double clothesline. I mean, it is tag team wrestling. You might figure that's the most important thing anyone can do is work together as a team. So maybe amidst all the good that Team Can-Am Blue has done, maybe we're even at advantage Team Terrible right now. As tends to be the case in history, all 4 competitors in the ring. Jason sets the stage for his bear. Confusing action right now. As we revert back to 2-on-2. Blue Blazer escaping. With the bear hug applied. The bear hug. The bear applies the bear hug. Center of the ring. That crushing, squeezing strength. The Blue Blazer may be a superhero, but he is still human, after all. That's a bear. Team Terrible, back to their winning ways, as I say, to the surprise of none. You can bet that they'll be gunning for that Canada's Tag Team Championship. Be hard to deny their #1 contendership after that. Match 2 for Dramatic Fight Wrestling's Tag Team Championship. Still sticking with the tags so far in this event. Team Best Friend Lionheart precedes KO. Kevin Owens has had some time to think since eating that pile driver critical at the hands of who his arch nemesis is now, Bret Hart. Now he has a chance to take the Hitman's gold with his buddy Jericho at his side. The Canadian sensation precedes, still dressed in his all black, the sinister version of the Hitman. DFW Tag Team Champions. This is for my neck brace, you jerk, says KO. Missing with a punch, but gains control. Irish whip. Now we're in the challenger corner. KO looking good. He's had all this time to plan for what he's going to do to Bret when he finally gets his hands on him again. And he's handling him so far. Stomp to the face. As much about insult as anything. Double drop down. How about the agility by the big man? Didn't amount to anything, but maybe message sent that KO has brought his A game. A lot of Irish whipping. And maybe Hart prudently tries to take the wind out of these sails by tagging in his partner. Lands a body slam on the big man. Booting his way out. KO decided why settle for this 1 versus 2 disadvantage. Tags in to the Lionheart. They work together on the assisted powerbomb. Now the first time locking up ever. Unless their paths have met in some Canada promotion, maybe some other. Who knows? Maybe in Japan. Snap suplex as we hit 3 minutes. Huh. Both men attempting strikes of different kinds. Arm drag takedown. Lionheart going old school. And, I guess shake hands, call it even, tag out. Not much between them, you might say, as the expression goes. Assisted powerbomb, though, as the Sharpshooter Syndicate gets working together. We're back to the chief rivalry within this mix. Hitman KO. Trading strikes. Ultimately won by KO, who would ultimately relish in having his name replace Hart's in the record book as captain of this championship. Eats a big body slam as the big man falls out of the ring but rolls back in time to face the Canadian sensation. Reverse atomic drop. Not sure these men have faced each other either. Again on the reverse atomic drop. After getting his nuts crushed twice, the sensation, feeling that sensation, is probably thinking, maybe I don't want to face Kevin Owens.
Okay, baby.
Okay, baby. The lion salt off the top rope. Not the moonsault. 2 and change. Bret Hart probably right to race in there. That was a near fall. Wow. Spinning sidekick against the dazed sensation. Who again realized, let me get the heck out of here. Jericho just manhandling both members of the Canadian Sharpshooter Syndicate right now. In fact, all 4 men in this match are Canadians, so Canadians will leave this match hoisting these championships, these title belts. 8 minutes. We move toward the challenger corner again. Reverse King Kong Bundy avalanche by a slightly smaller guy than the original Kong. Assisted powerbomb again. Tough to say who has any advantage in this match so far, but it could be whoever works better as a team. As we're seeing team best friend looking good in combination, 2-on-1. 2 count again. Eye rake. After what Bret Hart has done to Team Owens, rake in the eye is probably the least of what he's prepared to do. Team up on the vertical suplex. Now Bret Hart finally has his turn. Going for a ride. Body slam out of the ring. Now best friend will try to go to work on him 2-on-1. The sensation comes over to even the numbers. Assisted. Double vertical suplex out on the floor. Sidewalk slam as well. And KO is grandstanding in the ring, trying to get the crowd into it rather than helping his best friend out there. I guess he figures, Chris will be fine. He's not getting counted out. Let's just get the crowd as excited as we can. Get this Canadian crowd going. Vertical suplex out of the ring. Bret Hart's gone for a weapon.
3, 4.
The Hitman seized the sledgehammer out there.
7.
Not enough room to really wield it. We're getting our first look at the Zan Tourism logo, that blue banner out the side there. Welcome aboard, brand new sponsor.
Okay, baby.
So glad I wasn't talking during that. We got a good listen on Lionheart's audio. Dragon screw leg whip across the Lit-Cola main sponsor logo. Wow, there's one of those heart attack clotheslines. Fittingly, Bret Hart's partner should execute that. Snap suplex. 12.5 minutes. Get into that arm trap torture grind. It's got to be a move for it. Someday, someone win with that move so I can see what the name of it is. And there's a turnabout is fair play on the heart attack clothesline. We're all Canadian here, so a lot of homages being made to each other. Why not? Assisted powerbomb. Sharpshooter Syndicate working together. Reversal on the atomic drop. Physics defying knee to the gut, causing Kevin Owens to go flying the opposite way that he should have. Back to another one of those sidewalk slams. Probably a good idea for Bret Hart to use KO's significant weight against him. Heart attack clothesline. Has everyone done that move by now? Everyone except KO maybe? Teaming up again on the vertical suplex.
1, 2.
Oh, the Hitman, rather than go for a weapon that time, he just concentrates on just exploiting the man while he's down. Clothesline, leg drop. We have a
8.
delayed vertical suplex.
10.
Oh, there's that pile driver.
12.
We saw that pile driver inflicted on KO's cousin. There was a steel chair out there at the time. We saw what the result of all that was. If you don't know the back history, watch some previous events. But that was kind of a scary moment. Northern Lights suplex. Fittingly, a Canadian should run that. And we see another assisted powerbomb. This is some of the battle of the good teamwork. I think we've seen better, you know, as far as like sheer amount of teamwork by both teams. This is as much as we've ever seen it, I think. So both, there it is again, assisted on the powerbomb. Who can better exploit the 2-on-1? That seems to be turning out what the decision is probably going to be here. Both teams understanding the science of tag team wrestling. What better time to grasp it than when you're competing for a championship? Snap suplex. "18 minutes, we could see a finish in the relative near future." Delayed brainbuster. Devastating. And Lionheart is feeling the effects, taking him a while to recover. Now he's got to deal with both members of Sharpshooter Syndicate. He acquits himself well, though, booting his way out of trouble. Jumping vertical suplex. Goes for the cover. KO is quickly in there, though, to break it up. Northern Light suplex on the big man. Oh, we got Walls of Jericho. Or Lion Tamer, if you will. Here's that modified Boston Crab where the victim's very vertical. The Hitman hangs in there. Sidewalk slam again as he tries to battle both members. Wisely gets tagged out. Looks like, okay, yeah. Not surprisingly, Hart might have wanted more of a piece of the Lionheart. After Jericho spoiled Hart's party at the Christmas bloodbath. Missile dropkick. Sensational. He's back to the top again. Oh, Sensational on the Superfly, but KO wasn't just going to lay there all day. Got up eventually, maybe unwise by the Sensation to try to go to that well a second time. Oh, mishap there. Jericho with the Irish Whip throws the Sensation into KO, now eats a headbutt. And there's another Superfly. And the cover attempted. 2.9. Whether it's some kick out or save, we're that close to a conclusion. The Sensation was going for it on the heels of the Superfly. Arm trap, cross face. Hitman makes the save. Jericho's got to remain in that torturous hold for maximum duration. But no finish yet. Oh. Sensational Superfly again. Well on the champion side of the ring. 2.9 only though. I was all set to call the end of that match. The Sensation's calling for the end now. No, 2.9, this still goes. Stepping palm strike, devastating. About as impactful. And you see there with the finger wag again. The Hitman gets right in KO's face. No revenge for you, he says. You still have to wait if you're ever going to get it. You're not good enough to take my title, says Bret Hart. Right in KO's face. So, mission only half accomplished then, in the end, for Lionheart. For all he's tried to do to make good on his friendship with KO. He got the revenge against Bret Hart. Previous episode at Christmas Bloodbath, but the follow-up that really try to just salt in the wound and make the revenge complete by taking these titles fails at that. And these titles remain maybe not firmly around the waists of Sharpshooter Syndicate, but I mean, they're still champs. Maybe we need to run this match again. It was definitely exciting. We might have to check on the condition of KO because he did eat another one of those pile drivers from Bret Hart out on the floor this time. We saw the critical in the ring in November when KO was defeated by the Hitman. That time it wasn't critical, but it was about as critical as it gets with out on the floor where there's less padding, more severe impact, less give. So hopefully KO is okay. KO is okay. Yeah. Is that a pantomime or something? What's the word for that? Anyway. Yeah, I mean, with a 98% match evaluation, and, you know, how can KO be satisfied after having to experience what his cousin experienced nearly out on the floor with that pile driver outside the ring? Can't figure that this is over with. 98%, we probably should have to do this again. But we shall see. For now, Sharpshooter Syndicate, Canadian edition, still Dramatic Fight Wrestling, Tag Team Champions. Match 3, a type of Battle of Japan. Saw that last month in the form of Blue Hair versus the Trick Prince. And now Blue Hair gets Strongheart. Each of these two men have been champions, but only in team efforts. Neither of these guys have hoisted heavyweight gold here in the Canada Wrestling promotion. Blue Hair has challenged for DFW, Dramatic Fight Wrestling. Strongheart, emerging from the flashing lights, has challenged twice for Canada's Heavyweight Championship. So I think 3 challenges total between them for heavyweight titles. 0 for 3. Whomever wins this is going to make a firm case for getting a shot at something. Much at stake. Discus clothesline. Blue Hair trying to take Strongheart's head off just to start it off. Reversal on the vertical suplex, however, as Strongheart comes back. Body slam as we depart from the Lit Cola main sponsor logo. Dragon. Screw leg whip as Blue Hair retaliates. Body slam of his own. Falling fist. Fast-paced action between these two Japanese heavyweights. Tossed out of the ring. Blue Hair, who's a hero around here in this promotion, politely allows the more villainous Strongheart to come back in safe and sound. I say more villainous because Strongheart, if Strongheart's a heel or a villain, I think it's only because of who he's associated with. I think necessarily. Timing on that dropkick just right. I like to think that if Strongheart gets booed here in Canada, it's only because he's foreign and he's challenged a Canadian for the homegrown title. And so those things might lend toward being a heel, but I think it's more for the faction he's associated with that's more villainous than Strongheart himself. I picture Strongheart as being more. He's mostly just a pure competitor who's just trying to make his way and climb such as he can and try to be the best. Fire jumping power bomb. That move was what put Strongheart in the hospital. Strongheart missed the Christmas bloodbath on account of that move. Blue Hair looking to. Well, he's looking to sharpshoot him right now. Now, I don't want to say that Blue Hair intentionally went for a playback on the hospitalization. Let's hope he's not that black-hearted. But, you know, like I said, this is about competition. I've already set the stage. I've already talked about it publicly. Winner here probably gets a heavyweight championship title match. 2.9. Rather early as he goes back to that fire jumping powerbomb. I guess Blue Hair says this is the kryptonite for Strongheart. Almost finishes his countryman inside of 5 minutes. Wouldn't that have been shocking? Because if you've heard me call Strongheart's singles matches before, you know that I think pretty highly of him. His name's not in the record book in any form. Neither of these men have it in there. They've been some manner of tag champions each, but not as captains. So these two men still looking for their name in lights. Somehow, some way here in the CWP. Strongheart sleeper just now. Irish whip. Into the red corner. He tries to follow up, but Blue Hair meets him halfway, and now he's going to meet him with a Phoenix Plex into the red corner. Wow, just a running straight left. Simple but effective. Another 2.9. Oh, we're going to see that fire jumper again. Well, the Phoenix Plex again. Well, I mean, the fire jumping would have been better. At least he would have had a pin attempt there, whereas that was in the ropes. Falling back with the Phoenix Plex. But it's been, I think it's been Blue Hair's match, pretty much. Running, ripping, clothesline in motion again with the baseball slide. Knee to the back of the head of the downed opponent. Oh my goodness. Fire jumping powerbomb in return. Strongheart giving back some of that. It's proved effective against him so far. We were in the ropes though. Probably wouldn't have seen a 3 anyway, just because, as I say, this has kind of been Blue Hair's match so far. And Strongheart's got some work to do before he'll have a near finish. Wow. Rolling leg drops off the top rope. Spectacular. Doubles up on it. Falling fist. Strongheart's got to be in just disarray right now. Wondering what he has to do. Suplex followed up with the elbow drop, but is it possible that Strongheart still isn't quite recovered from his hospitalization? I mean, he's cleared to wrestle. Is he 100%?
10 minutes gone.
10 minutes gone, as Maple tells us. We haven't heard from Maple in a while. Brainbuster. And the Diamond Cutter, huh? Some pretty impressive moves on display here. Yeah, on the Maple subject, once we were in that larger venue, that 30,000 venue, we had a different ring announcer. Now that we're back to 15,000, we get to the girl again. Another baseball slide. Is that a vertical suplex, drop kick down low? Well, you know, Strongheart's been putting some moves together in recent times. Seemed like it was mostly blue hair for a while. That's become more even. Strongheart just needed to get his legs under him after that time off. Just bang off some of the rust. I think blue hair has been banging the rust off the guy.
1, 2, 3.
And 3 count, like I say, I think maybe too soon back for Strongheart. Maybe he could have used a match interveningly just to sort of get himself back into the swing of it before this more important rivalry match. But, you know, off the dragon screw. Screws Strongheart's return from injury. Yeah, I mean, he was fit to compete, Strongheart. He was ready to go. This was a sensible match to make. He wanted the match, wanted to get the revenge as soon as possible. He had Christmas to mull it over and just think how much that can't. I mean, this damn hospital bed because of this guy. So, and you know, if it wasn't for, I mean, if Strongheart didn't step in and do this match, it would have been, blue hair would have gone straight to the title match with Big Titan, because would have been no reason to not do that. So Strongheart got in there and he gave himself a chance to take blue hair's spot. He failed. Blue hair has to get a title shot now. Will it be against... We could give him Baron Charles again. If you remember, Baron Charles successfully defended DFW against blue hair a few months back. I don't know how long it was. I mean, no reason why we can't do a rematch. We could have yet another Battle of Japan singles. Blue hair, Baron Charles. But, you know, we'll just see who's available and what shakes out and what are the sensible matches. But, yeah. I mean, blue hair is stringing wins together. He defeated Strongheart in the tag on November. Defeated the Trick Prince in December, Landmine Deathmatch. And now fair and square defeats the returning, albeit maybe not quite himself, Strongheart. But any way you slice it, that's 3 wins in a row. For blue hair, getting the finish is looking good. He will get some sort of title shot in the near future. That is only fair. Congratulations, blue hair. Match 4 for Canada's Tag Team Championship. First title defense for the newly minted Wolf Omega champions. For the second time. Now aiming to take their turn as second time Canada's Tag Team Champions. This is the team that ended Kenny Omega's brief stint as the captain of these titles. Remember, Kenny Omega teamed with Deathblow Ken to actually score a victory over Team Terrible to become tag team champions. But then the Kenny Ken connection lost immediately to Team Satan.
Bang!
Can Satan
Fight!
get it done the second time? And they're up against the red-black edition of Wolf Omega. Claps in that armbar. Early for a submission attempt inside of a minute. Vertical suplex. Team Satan has also been DFW Tag Champions, I believe twice. Vertical suplex out of the ring on the double team. Satan's General goes for the ride. So Team Satan, certainly no strangers to Tag Championship Gold. Assisted powerbomb. Ew. Brass knuckles busts Omega open. It's like we're back at the Christmas bloodbath again if you're this team. Of course, all four of these guys were involved in all that bloodbathing. Kenny wears the red mask already. 3 minutes in, we've already got blood flying. Body press, surprising agility for such a muscle-bound freak as foot soldier Will Stewart. Now the two power men in there. Trading strikes. Half crab. Stewart says, "Get off me." And follows up with a poke into the war paint. Into the red war paint of the Wolf. Arm drag takedown. Tags out his general. Double drop kick by Team Satan. Irish whip. Crossface chicken wing off of the sit-down position. So Omega's had a chance to come to terms with him having gotten juiced back in there to team up with his buddy the Wolf to do team up vertical suplex shooting star on the pin attempt, leaving blood all around the red corner. Championship corner. Will the blood loss cost this Canadian team the championship? We're in the challenger's corner now. Chop in the challenger corner. One-man gang slam across the lightning bolt. Lit Cola main sponsor logo deadlift, German suplex, body slam, Will Stewart. Throwing his strength around out there. The awesome power on display, exploiting the bloodied Omega, who's trying to get tagged off. Stewart cuts him off, but Omega fights his way to making a much-needed tag. Reversal on an Irish whip. Omega fighting his way out. He's like a Wolverine. He's just going to fight it out viciously under whatever circumstance. Body slam, giant swing. Will Stewart making the case that he's the true big man of this group. Torture rack. Into the backbreaker. Ooh, suplex slam. More awesome power on display. Team Satan working well in tandem. Wolf gets tagged out. Not the best idea to get the bloody guy back in there, but Wolf wasn't doing so well himself. Now they're struggling just to stay afloat as Omega bleeds. Thankfully, he's in the ropes, gets to escape that predicament. Applies a pinning attempt. No hope there, but maybe he's just trying to buy himself some time. Pile driver. Last thing he needs while he's already split open from the head. You recall he ate brass knuckles earlier on, courtesy of the General. Or discourtesy of. Wasn't very courteous to smash a guy with a metal hand wrap. Blood seeping out. It is the championship seeping away from Wolf Omega.
Minutes gone.
Giant swing again. Add some dizziness to what's already probably some discomfort in the head there. And the blood. Team Satan just all business here. All vicious, all business. Figure 4 leg lock after the running clothesline. The Wolf makes the much needed save, but things are looking troubling for the champs right now. Satan's General briefly knocked off the apron there. His big man partner. Accidentally, of course. Inadvertent. What's a better word? Accidental or inadvertent? If you know the difference between those terms, leave it in the comments, even though it's got nothing to do with wrestling. And if you're just going to look up the dictionary definition, don't bother. I can do that too. If you know it. Anyway, not important. Not important. We have a match going on here for Canada's Tag Team Championship. I guess I should take this a shade more seriously. Back to that half crab, not quite in the ropes. I mean, a big match. You'd think that this would be very important to Wolf and Omega to want to prove that they can hold these titles and do them proud. They are they are Canadian. This is the Canada Tag Team Championship. The title that has mostly eluded them, even though they were one of the original tag teams of this promotion. Double arm suplex. I mean, tough sledding to battle Team Terrible on it and stave off that challenge on a regular basis, but you'd hope that maybe you can defeat some of the other teams. Omega making the partial save there, lessens the impact for his buddy Wolf. Then eats the assisted powerbomb. Will Stewart putting the agility on display with a backflip and then posing down and going down as Omega with the punches, blood everywhere. Ugh. Quick, Omega might have reversed that. Or at least escaped it somehow. But look at the collection of red, jeez. Which I'm sure the Satanists don't mind seeing it. Probably only encourage them like sharks. 2.9. Is it just a matter of time before we see that last little bit they need to win this title? It seems like this match has been Satan's from pretty much the beginning. But, you know, past 15 minutes, the champs are in there. As long as they're in there, there's a shot. Ric Flair style shinbreaker. Will Stewart doesn't mind calling upon those moves from yesteryear made famous by legends of the past. I do like his style, that guy, Will Stewart. And the Wolf with the avalanche clothesline. Trying to change the complexion here. Can he win this battle of the big men? Nope. Gets a stomp in the face. The Wolf trying to navigate both members of Team Satan. And the captains come together, facing the General. Fire jumping powerbomb, but I think it's safe to say Will Stewart's not going to stand by and let that happen. Makes the save. Kenny cannot make the prevention, just too far away. But he can leave blood on the mat while he's here. Oh. eyeballs across the top rope. Omega's coming all the way across. Does make the save.
You can't escape.
Well, impressive move. Oh! Both members of the championship team with incredible moves there. Kenny Omega with the fireman's carry forward roll. You can't escape. And then we had a launch German suplex out of the ring. Incredible. As the champions look to make a big splash here to try to hold on to these titles. To this title. I guess the title is singular, right? Belts would be plural because there's two physical belts. There's only actually one title. The title of Tag Team Champions, which two men, which is plural, hold the title. But the title is singular. Anyway, Tombstone Piledriver on someone who's already bleeding out of the head. No mercy. Olympic Slam. Screw the mercy. As Will Stewart goes to work, lays him across the center of the ring, applies the figure four leg lock. Desperate save made by Wolf Hockfield. Had to figure Kenny was not likely to hold out. Flapjack. More strength on display. Oh, maybe don't waste time, Will Stewart. If those titles are within your grasp. Well, he didn't pay for it. Running clothesline, more blood. Drop toe hold out of desperation from Omega. Just to keep the hopes of this title defense alive. Oh, spine buster, Triple H, spine buster. Leg hook on the brain buster. Oh, charging up that leg. Oh, running super kick. On the disoriented Stewart, probably didn't see it coming. There's a follow-up on the kick. Buying himself ample time, tags in the Wolf. Here comes the cavalry, all four men now.
You can't escape.
Both members of Team Satan have been unable to escape at some point or another. That has not yet spelled victory for the champs. Can it? Will it? Forward. Pile driver. Some sort of sidewalk, rock bottom type slam. Oh! Rotating powerbomb. Very impressive. If only it was in the champion side of the ring, there might have been a chance there. 2 count. I mean, the foot soldier's just having fun out there. Showing off his agility. Showing off his physique. He looks like he's pretty sure they're going to win these titles. Celebrating early. Much of the match is Will Stewart. If that costs Team Satan the belts, you might have to answer to the general. This looks like it's been Team Satan's match. If the general can make a case that you cost us, Foot Soldier, by just screwing around, posing down. Jerk, suplex. Wolf Hockfield follows up. With the stretch, the STF. Deadlift, German suplex, awesome strength on display again. Back suplex. We approach 25 minutes. Well, yeah. I mean, it's the challengers have looked good, but you have to start thinking anyone's match when it goes this long. Everyone's getting worn down. Everyone's getting beaten up. Wear and tear all around. Maybe, in a weird way, the champions can steal this match by hanging in there, winning it late somehow. Another one of those super kicks. I mean, can't throw too many if you're Kenny. These are desperate times. Irish whip. He will follow up with the reverse avalanche. Can they get something done as a team? There's that one winged angel. It would have been a pinning attempt. Deep in the corner. Oh. I guess we did see that coming. It turned out to be a torture rack finish. If only Omega was the legal man for that one-winged angel, that might have been a title defense. The torture rack secures the submission and the championship. I kind of hate that I called it so early. This was likely the outcome because, you know, the homegrown Canadian talent have now to relinquish the titles, the belts, as a result of this event. But you know, this was a fine exhibition by Team Satan, was it not? I mean, the Generals set the stage early on with the brass knuckles. Absolute villainous move. Got away with it. Busted open Omega very early on with those brass knuckles. I mean, did that take some of the starch out of Kenny? Did that affect his ability to, you know, to impact the match? Maybe, maybe not. You never can tell completely about those things. But, I mean, the foot soldier just looked like he was having a good time out there the whole time. Will Stewart celebrating early, premature celebration repeatedly. But, I mean, say what you will, he even got the finish at the end too. After all that grandstanding and foolishness, he made good on all his, you know, kind of braggadocious sort of excesses and got away with it. And they're getting away with these titles. So no longer dual champions then. History repeats itself. The Wolf Omega team, they win the tag team championships. The tag team championship off of Team Terrible. And then drop it right away with no title defense. I mean, in the grand scheme of the history of this duo, this Wolf Omega duo, they have shined when they have brought a third on board and formed three-man teams to compete for the Six Tag Championship. That seems to be their wheelhouse. They've always had trouble being consistent in this arena, the 2-on-2, for some reason. And so, yeah, what exactly does this mean now? Because I talked about Team Satan having won the religious rivalry, set themselves up to challenge these guys for the 6 tag titles. Now that this duo is the tag team championship, the tag team champions, then that should be the priority, them defending that. So I guess that takes them sort of kind of out of the forefront as 6 tag challengers. And Wolf and Omega now have just one duty, the 6 tag, and we'll probably go back to that. So I guess these teams probably part ways. These 4, the 2 and 2, will go different directions and defend each respective titles. Where does this leave Midnight Night? Yeah, Warren Watson, who was sitting out and probably presumed he would participate in challenging for the 6 tag titles. Where does that leave the Midnight Night? He probably enters the singles arena, right? Logically. Kind of the same way that Blue Hair has done with Sharpshooter Syndicate. When you're a 3-man team, but 2 of your members go off and have success without you, you find yourself alone. The logical progression is, okay, well, now I'll compete in the singles division. So, yeah, maybe we'll finally see Warren Watson, the Midnight Night, get a chance to take his crack at singles. Huh. I mean, upheaval in terms of what I kind of maybe suspected going forward, but at least we put a stop to the conflict here, the dual championship with Wolf and Omega. They now just have the 6 tag, and I won't have to wonder about which titles they should defend, because they just got the one championship now. So maybe all's well that ends well. And how about the momentum of Team Satan? Been winning a lot lately, and now 2 of them are champions. They are the new Canada's Tag Team Champions. Match 5 for the Junior Tag Team Championship. I believe this has only been wrestled for maybe twice. We formed a champion and then we had a defense. So far, these 2 guys have not had this belt. They lost the inaugural title match and the challenge once failed. So a type of third time's the charm scenario for these guys. Can they get it done? It would have to be done at the expense of Team Gold and Black. I think I called them Black and Gold earlier. But if you go Gold and Black, it's either Gold and Black or Golden EN, Gold and Black. You could even hyphenate it. Gold and Black, I think, sounds better. The irredeemable Shota. Christian. Canadian. Canada's Junior Tag. Power bomb to open things up. It looked like Miguel might have been going for Frankensteiner. Settles for an eye rake there to try to get Christian more susceptible to things, but when he eats the dragon screw leg whip, eye poke through the eye holes of the mask. Good idea. Drop toe hold. Fast, furious action as we're Irish whipped into the championship corner. Christian muscles his way out of there. And Miguel makes a quick tag out. Type B. Big man complex. Was about to eat a suplex from Christian. Miguel makes the save there. Breaks it up. Looked like Christian was going after Miguel for a little bit of payback for that, but his interest was better served paying attention to the man in the ring he was supposed to face. So dragon screws for both members of the challengers. We called them Team Dark before. Pretty general name based on their appearance. But we didn't do much more with Gold and Black. We have had a tendency in this promotion to identify teams based on color. As is traditional in team sports anyway. Clothesline, by the way. And then we're getting the bloodletting started early, maybe? No. No blood drawn that time. Type B responds with a body slam. B is for body slam. Out onto the floor. If you recall, Owen Miller took time off after being bloodied up and had his title taken off him by this man, irredeemable Shota. Perhaps he got on some sort of blood thinners or something in between. Oh, just narrowly avoids that fire breath from Shota. Yeah, maybe the reason Owen Miller wasn't split open just now with that scythe is that he got some blood thinners going so it wouldn't be such a bleeder next time. But Shota was prepared to test it again. Coming to the rescue, though, was Mexico Miguel. Test of strength. Trip. Back to. This is a third usage of this weapon. And maybe the mask protected Miguel there from being bloodied. So there's been a reason why each of the 3 scythings so far have not drawn blood. Owen Miller got on some sort of medication to be less bleedy. The second attempt was cut short by an interference. The third one, mask protection. So that's why there's no blood, in case you're pissed off that there's no blood. Anyway, Superfly splash off the top rope by Christian. And then tosses the man bodily out of the ring. So we talked about Miguel beginning of the episode about he winless in year 3. This would be one way to get things on track for year 4. Get things started on a high note, win the tag team championship. And he is the captain out of seniority. He's been around considerably longer than Type B, so not only could Miguel start the year off with a win potentially, and do what he couldn't do all last year, and he'd get his name in the books as the captain of this team. Body slam as Type B. Just when he's trying to get some momentum against Christian, now he's got to face both members of Gold and Black. Double drop kick. B is for barrage, says Shota, as he pummels. Flailing strikes. Miguel in there to break up that submission situation, but haymaker. Floors Type B, we're back to the scythe. Oh. Well, if you're the irredeemable, if trying to draw blood is not working, why not go down low? Use some other questionable tactics. I think that's what Shota is largely about. Whether it's digging down low, trying to split your opponent open with bladed weapons, or even breathing fire, which we've seen. All 4 men in the ring right now. Second time now, Shota has fought his way out of a 1 versus 2 disadvantage. Uncorks the fire breath. There were 2 possible targets there, but somehow it didn't connect with anything. There it is, finally, fire breath. Miguel eats the flame. And he's busy tending to his possible burns there. Backflip dropkick, though, he's recovered well. Maybe the mask largely protected him from any serious burn damage. That was an unexpected, exciting thing to call. I was too busy excited to call the double suplex out of the ring. It's always a crowd pleaser. Before I could even get that out, the flame came. There we go. Vertical suplex out of the ring. Christian waves to the Canadian fans. So that's the call I was wanting to make before, the double suplex out of the ring. So twice now Christian has foregone pursuing his man outside the ring as he hits the heart attack clothesline.
2, 3.
Biting. We finally have blood. The irredeemable will just nod his way through that mask, I suppose, until he hit pay dirt, so to speak. He hit the blood. And we finally got red in the ring. Seems like Shota matches aren't quite complete without that. Seems to be an upsetting spectacle. Now the numbers catching up to Shota right now, the 2 challengers gaining the upper hand. Clubbing blows from Big Man. Oh, looks like Owen was gearing up for a punch, but maybe not the best idea to try to enter more what Shota's specialty is, which is boxing. DDT. Oh. Some sort of vertical suplex over the head into the diamond cutter. 2 count. Blood. Low blows. All 4 men in the ring. Fire breath again. Fireman's Carry Slam. As we reach 15 minutes. Shota's in a daze, and Big Man Complex gives him something to be in a daze about, clubbing blows. Clothesline, but now the numbers game catching up to the challengers as Owen eats a shot to the back of the head. Makes the tag, has drawn Christian all the way over into the challenger corner, where the 2-on-1 can be utilized by the challengers. And we're trading shots over in the champions corner. Spinning heel. Vertical suplex leaves some blood behind. No sell though by Miguel. Impaler DDT. Going for the cover on the bloodied challenger. 2.9 though. Haymaker, left hand floors type B. Heart attack clothesline. Christian looked like, I don't know if he meant to knock Big Man Complex down. I think he might have just been trying to do some move off the ropes. Anyway, double team on the vertical suplex. And Shota going back to the scythe. Guess he figures, let's see how much blood we can get out of the Mexican. Tags into the American, the US guy. I think we might have mentioned this before. All four of our juniors are from different countries. Shota, Japan, and of course Christian from Canada. Elbow to the ankle. That's something you don't expect to see. Combination striking from Christian. Oh. Unprettier. Miguel's in there to prolong this match, though. I don't know if that would have been a finish or not. Oh, there's the fire breath. This time Owen eats it. Oh, Shota just putting on a pyro display out there. Each challenger has been roasted by those flames. Death Valley Driver, however, as Owen Miller regains momentum for the challengers. 20 minutes approaching.
20 minutes gone.
As Maple lets us know, running drop kick. Christian tags in the Irredeemable. Combination striking. We're into ankle lock. And it is good enough to secure the submission. Team Gold and Black looking pretty good in the successful title defense of Canada's Junior Tag Championship. %, match evaluation, we'll take it. And so Christian's back to winning ways now after the disappointment at the Christmas bloodbath. And Shota, the Irredeemable, remains your unified junior champion. Match 6, the main event, which I want to say is all about trying to get some of these guys with low trust levels a bit higher, so they're more happy to be here and more likely to want to stay. Here's a couple of them right now. Both these guys are potentially might choose to leave the organization. Iron Mike Sharp, Vampiro, Canada's greatest athlete, and the Dead Man. How about that for a team? And the reason why this isn't just about D-Trust is, although we see Edge there, Rated R coming down, Rated R has D-Trust. I like the idea of this possibly being a team that might contend for a championship. So that's part of what these guys are wrestling for, is to put themselves in that conversation as Team Canada Red. Big Mike starts in against hated Vampiro. Hated by him, at least. I'm not sure what Canada thinks of the also Canadian Vampiro. Big Mike wins the test of strength and pounds the vampire down to the mat. The clubbing blow. Very interesting matchup, these two. That vampire strength coming into play, though. Vampires are considered super strong. Typically. Big Mike with the mare. Snap mare. Clothesline. What a fun back and forth already between these two guys. Falling headbutt to the ample midsection, let's say, of Big Mike. He's big in a lot of places. Yeah, I kind of want to see these guys in singles. Big Mike was going for something special. Some sort of top rope spectacularity, foiled by Vampiro a little early in the match to attempt something like that. High risk, high reward, saved for later on when people are a little more fatigued, a little more disoriented. Teaming up on the leaping kicks to the side of the head. I don't know if Iron Mike should be doing that at 68 years old or whatever he is. Who was that, Mike? Oh, the Battle of the Mikes. Iron Mike, Big Mike. Oh, Big Mike was about to go for a big ride out of the ring there on the body slam, but Edge got in there. Makes the save. Heck, Edge probably grew up watching Iron Mike Sharp on WWF. Now you'd have to ask Edge himself if the Canadian was inspired by Iron Mike Sharp, fellow Canadian. Test of strength pretty even there. Mostly even. We'll call it even. Looked like Mike might have got the advantage at the end there, but that old man strength. Mike's been doing this a while. Probably had more tests of strength than Edge has had sleeps. Trading blows back and forth. Vampiro gonna fly like a vampire bat again. Superfly splash from the turnbuckle. Boot to the back.
5 minutes gone.
Yeah, what is Vampiro? Is he a heel? He has teamed with Team Terrible. He's engaged in underhanded tactics. Eats the reversal on the vertical suplex out of the ring. He's gained some notoriety for threatening to walk out on the organization more than once. Mostly behind the scenes. It hasn't really been a public thing, but should Canadian fans resent him for lack of commitment to this organization? Nothing else. If he's going to feud in some sort of indirect way with Big Mike. Mike has always been a pretty stand-up guy, and he wears the flag colors, the red, the white highlights there. Iron Mike Sharp in pursuit of a bit of a get-back there against Edge. Maybe ill-advised. I want to focus on who the legal man in the ring who's actually coming after you. Double arm suplex by Canada's greatest athlete against Canada's biggest athlete? Is Big Mike the biggest? Maybe not. I kind of feel like that was Vampiro's idea. Hey, Iron Mike, let's do this double team where we fly through the air and throw a kick. I don't know if that would be Mike Sharp's idea at his age. Sidewalk slam off the Irish whip. In fact, I'm not even sure if that's the correct name for it. I'm going to call it that. How about that? Just because it's fun. It's alliterative with all the S's. Super kick. And then some sort of falling, supposing that was a headbutt. Sometimes you can't tell exactly with the impact. Oh!
1, 2.
That modified pile driver.
10 minutes gone.
Is that the nail in the coffin? Is that... Did we ever figure out what his nail in the coffin actually is? Probably should be, since it's a pinning combination. Because that would be... When you think of the nail in the coffin, you think of that being the end. Like, now you're in there for good. Done. Jumping headbutt. Eats a kick in response, though. All 4 men flailing around in there. Mike Mayer. Running shoulder block. It's one of those fundamentals. They probably teach you when you're first learning how to wrestle. So that might have been the sidewalk slam. I don't know. Body slam out of the ring. Vampiro has seized a weapon, the barbed wire baseball bat. We've seen him use this before. Not enough time to really develop it. Being the non-legal man, you only have limited time to be in there. But he leaves the barbed wire baseball bat right there across the lightning bolt of the Lit Cola main sponsor logo. Will that come into play later on? Possibly, possibly. I want to believe that it will. I will look for an excuse. Oh, look at this! Iron Mike almost walked across the barbed wire. That would have been a bad idea. Press, slam, tumbles out of the ring.
1, 2,
Big Mike nearly avoids walking on the barbed wire.
4, 5,
We will fight outside the ring. Drop kick.
7, 8, 9, 10.
Backbreaker. Mike Sharp looking pretty fierce out there fighting on the floor. Now the battle of the mics resumes. Only briefly, though. Get Vampiro back in there, 2-on-1. As the 3 of them brawl over top of the baseball bat. Vampiro exploiting the dazed Big Mike. Clothesline. Now we'll outright cheat a little bit. No tag made. Clothesline. Vampiro calling for the end. Spinning sidekick. Wow. Vampiro is just beating the crap out of Big Mike. Ugh. Rock bottom. We're back into the press slam, though. Big Mike putting that awesome power on display, and then rightfully just get out of there. Things hadn't been going his way lately. So got hold of the momentum just long enough to just get out of there and kind of push the reset button on this match a little bit. Get fresh people in there. Recover. Continue to play the long game as this match could go on for a while. We've seen tag matches go a half an hour. So this could be far from over. Vertical. Suplex. 17 minutes. Ball shot. It's a little underhanded for, well, rated R. Has been a heel in his day. He's largely being portrayed as a good guy here, but hasn't always been a nice guy. Oh! Teaming up for the joint German suplex. Wow, okay. Extra height on that as both men get grabbing each other. A lot of men grabbing each other from behind. Whatever you're into, don't let me judge. And Pyro super flying off the top rope to land on Big Mike. Launching on the belly-to-belly suplex, Vampiro goes tumbling out of the ring from distance. Eats a backbreaker, however. Now, rather irritated, Vampiro comes in with a chair. Oh, he missed with the first shot with that overhead, but he smashed Edge in the abdomen there. And then went lower than the abdomen after the chair shot with, well, you saw. He got more than one weapon littering the ring. And Pyro standing on that barbed wire baseball bat. Oh, looked like he might have been gonna pile drive him onto the barbed wire. He settled for utilizing the space between the weapons laying. Dropkick misses. Confusing action with all four guys. The sharpshooter. Mike Sharp breaking that up sharply. Back suplex. I mean, I guess we can't rule out Edge joining Sharpshooter Syndicate one of these days. I mean, if he's going to use that move. It's been the only real qualification so far to join the Syndicate.
1, 2, 3.
So, wild action with all four men. Someone was knocked out of the ring. Edge goes to the top rope, landing knee first, but some confusion there as his partner Big Mike drags the opponent out of the way. Stomp to the back of the head while his disliked rival Vampiro face down. Impaler DDT. So we get another four-man brawl going on. Oof. Only fitting that an actual vampire should use the Impaler DDT, the Vlad the Impaler DDT. As you know, Edge, probably know Edge, used to have the vampire gimmick when he first was coming onto the scene, the wrestling scene. Vertical suplex out of the ring.
Come on.
Haha. Dueling appeals to the Canadian crowd. Both Mikes taking their turn trying to get the crowd on their side. This all-Canadian four-man main event. Wow, there we go. Why not? Why not ask for approval after that vicious spinning back fist? Sure seemed pretty nasty. His opponent vulnerable, slumped in the turnbuckle. Collision there. Looked like Big Mike wasn't sure exactly what he wanted to do. Changed his mind part way. And gives Canada's greatest athlete a chance to tag out to Canada's deadest athlete. Vertical suplex out of the ring.
1,
Vampiro indicating the Edge won't be back, maybe.
4,
Ooh, rock bottom in the ring. Body slam out of the ring. Team Canada black. Looking very good right now.
9,
Handling red both in and out of the ring. Into the turnbuckle. Double arm outside on the floor. Clothesline cranks Big Mike into the turnbuckle. Superfly. Wow. Team Black is dominating in their corner right now. Impaler DDT, however. Edge break up the momentum, but Vampiro's back on top of things. He'll fly again. More vampire bat action. Multiple superflies. Just squashing Edge repeatedly in the corner there. No pinfall, however. Looking for more style points, I guess, with that Van Damme style kicking. Missing, and is he playing into the hands of Canada Red? Impaler DDT. But Edge is not the legal man, so couldn't exploit that vulnerability. Avalanche, clothesline. Vampiro fights back with a slam. He's going to go to the top rope. Another superfly, but has he done that too many times? Look, Vampiro's looking pretty worn out from all these superflies. He's been in bat mode a little bit too much. Reversal on the... Wow, this match just keeps... The chaos just keeps going.
2,
Oh, we're out of the ring again.
3,
Elgin Bomb finisher, the trademark for Big Mike.
9,
Oh,
10,
flailing with that barbed wire baseball bat.
12,
Vampiro had bad intentions there. Briefly gets hold of a light fixture. Vampiro turning this into a complete street fight with all these weapons everywhere.
Yeah.
He was trying, looked like he was trying to end someone's life out there with that barbed wire bat. So the Elgin Bomb, the finisher, done in the ring this time, but in the wrong corner. Broken up. Match continues. We near half an hour, didn't I say? Some posing by Iron Mike. Didn't I say these tag matches can go half an hour? Looks like we're gonna. Oof, pile driver. And then escapes trouble, escapes the numbers disadvantage, does Iron Mike. Shrewdly gets tagged. But Edge is handling these two members of Team Canada Black pretty well. What a crazy match. Running, spinning, heel. Boom, yet another. We're setting records here for number of Impaler DDTs. Between these two guys who both like to use it, running clothesline. These guys might make a cool tag team too. Forward pile driver. They both use that same DDT. There's a roll up, but again, wrong side of the ring to attempt a pin attempt. Better to do that when you got the guy on your side where it can be covered. Oh. Yet another Impaler DDT. I might have to watch this match back just to see how many Impaler DDTs. It's been a lot. All four men now. In the ring, we're over in the blue corner. Big Mike showing he's got some energy left in him. Charges up that lariat at clothesline and delivers. Backbreaker. Iron Mike's got the Canadian backbreaker in his moveset. I'm not sure. That looked like a pretty standard backbreaker. Maybe he's got something else he can do. Running strike. Well, 34 minutes. The crowd can't claim to have been shortchanged on the main event in terms of, you know, the sheer content of it. Four good, wholesome Canadian boys just putting on a lengthy exhibition here. Sidewalk slam. How the aged Iron Mike Sharp has not had a heart attack by now is anyone's guess. The old man can still go. All four men. Maybe this is how we'll get a resolution. Maybe somewhere amidst the chaos, someone will make an attempt at a finisher. It won't be able to get broken up in time. Who knows?
1, 2, 3.
Well, didn't I call it? Pin attempt occurred while the non-legal men had to escape the ring. For risk being disqualified, no one there to make the breakup. It was deep in the blue corner anyway. Team Canada Black attempting the pin where it should be attempted. So over 90% match evaluation, richly deserved. Credit for closing the show with authority. Did I say over 35 and a half minutes, let's call it. As the one man who I was saying at the beginning of the show is most likely to leave the organization, Vampiro, gets the finish. Who knows, maybe having his hand raised in the main event and, you know, making a big splash with all those weapons. He did employ the steel chair successfully against Edge at some point. And it was just a junkyard full of debris. Apart from that, pretty good main event. Average 86%, pretty good. So for every match we had 1% over 80 for the final evaluation. We'll probably finish on the money. Speaking of final. So, over $2 million, over $2.2 million profit to begin year 4. Good start.